Right, welcome everybody to another episode of Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. I am one of your hosts, Chris, and my co-host and very good friend is Dave.
Hey there, Chris, and hello to our listeners out there. Welcome to Chris and Dave's Reality TV Cast. We are covering Married at First Sight UK Season 8, Episode 1, Chris. We're back. After like, a day? But, where do you want to start today?
Well, you know what, Dave? It was a long episode, the first one. I can report that the next episodes this week are just going to be an hour. We're including adverts. It was an hour and 35 minutes in the UK. And I did fall asleep for the last 40 minutes, Dave. I do apologise, but I did catch up today. Look, it's just maths. We've got currently watching, aren't we? Like, My Mum, Your Dad. And completely different show, different format. And this starts off and I was like, oh, we're back. We are back on the Sten and Hag, the Sten and Hag do's, I was going to say, Dave. That's very well. The hen and stag do's, Chris.
I don't know.
Let's not even expand on that, Dave. But anyway, I do apologise. So we do get it. Paul comes in speaking, and we've got Mel and the other lady there chatting away, and it's all, woo, yeah, and all this stuff. And you get to meet some of the characters. And first of all, we get to meet Ella, who's trans, LGBTQ plus contestant. There's a bit of backlash with that, Dave, saying, are they going to, handle this situation correctly? Because in like the Aussie one and previous shows, it's never been handled correctly. So that's going to be quite interesting. I know they are playing the narrative, and we'll get into that when we get to that episode, which I think will be probably this evening, that her partner who she picks, or they pick actually, or he's already aware, but for the show, they're going to play it up. So there's been a bit of backlash on that. But it's going to be interesting how that all plays out, how they handle it as a show, and, just treat everyone fairly, because at the end of the day, it's inclusion, which the way of the world now, Dave. And, at the end of one of them things that is fully warranted. We've said for ages, Love Island it's never had any gay couples or anything, has it? So it's never gone down that route. It's just been purely heterosexual relationships. So this is for us as well. This is something that we've never manoeuvred within the show, have we? So it's a really interesting take from ourselves and how the public reacts to it as well.
Yeah, it is. In one way, it's quite progressive, but like you say, I just hope they handle it well. Let's see. I mean, it's a step, and learning isn't always linear. So let's see how that goes. I still think of all the different shows that we've done, I think Singletown is probably the most progressive. But I tell you what, it's not as progressive as, Chris, Naked Attraction.
I still can't get Sam to watch that. She's just having none of it.
But it is. I mean, you have every different combination there. So, very, very inclusive. I suppose with the casting, they have to be a little bit, don't they? Not everyone on this island wants to sign up to that. Obviously not even yourself, Chris, who had the opportunity. So.
Dave, yeah. It was very cold, Dave. Very cold. Anyway, let's talk about the couples then, Dave. So we got the first two weddings in this episode. And, I will say, Dave, we've just, we watched the Aussie one. And that's the last one we've covered. And we had Bronte and Harrison. And the first couple we meet is Arthur and Laura. Mainly Laura. She comes on. For me, she was stuck up her own arse. I love a Chelsea boy. I love this. She speaks posh. She was chatting away about how she likes the different people. And then in between her talking, we then get Paul and Mel and that talking about how they vetted, these contestants, made sure they got the right person. And then they put her with Arthur, who is completely the opposite of everything she'd asked for, Dave. I know it's like, pin the tail on a donkey. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hang on, we've got this right. But the way that Laura was talking, I was like, holy shit, she's going to be proper high maintenance. However, the story about her dad, and that was awful when she was 19, Dave, that was a real, there was some personality there, because for the first couple of minutes of me, I felt she was playing a character and someone we've seen very much like the blonde girl in the last Mass Australia Day. Do you remember? She treated the guy like shit. It was like stand in the corner, stand on the window. You're not getting, what's she called? Remember?
God, the nurse.
The nurse, yeah. And she was having, and then she wanted a bit with the fucking the weird guy.
Tanya or something, was it?
I can't remember bloody name now. Tani was the other girl, wasn't she? Tani was the. You know what I mean, though?
I know
the blonde
what you mean,
one.
yeah. But there's been an array of them. So I was actually thinking Becca.
Yes.
You remember the one who got caught out?
Yeah. It's my brother.
Video.
Really? Yeah. We've seen them videos. No, we haven't. Right?
But yeah, I don't know. Oh, honestly, Chris, the more she was talking, and the stuff with her dad, okay, that fair play, that is tragic. But just everything else that spewed out of her mouth, I just found so distasteful. And I was thinking that it's funny because we're watching My Mum, Your Dad in parallel. That I'm rooting for a lot of those people. I'm rooting for those people to find a relationship, find the person they want, and break down all the kind of walls that they put up over the years and stuff. And when she's going on, I'm just like, oh, you're a fucking see you next Tuesday. I mean, what an absolute superficial twat. Oh, I love a Chelsea boy, me, and this, that, and the other, and fucking. There's one bloke in here. I think we'll see him later in the week, but he says, "Oh, I'll probably describe myself as a bit of a Tory." I was like, "Well, you're a fucking absolute cunt, then, aren't you?" So, and I just honestly, I was filled partially in this episode, Chris, with just that impotent rage of just like, oh, you bunch of bastards. But it's all in the skilled casting, though, isn't it? It's no good if they have some nice people on there, or you've got to have a few sacrificial lambs to throw in there, But you need your villains as well to mix things up. So, yeah, I think definitely, she said a few nice words, when she found out Arthur came across to the country, didn't know the language or anything. She seemed to soften a little bit, but I don't think she's going to get away from this. Basically, this superficial character. And you know what, Chris? I'd love for a fucking ex-husband to come in or something and give his side to the story, because she was like, oh, yeah, we're in lockdown. And the way I interpreted it was basically we'd figured out that when we're not, cruising the fucking cocktail bars in Chelsea, that we've got fuck all in common and don't actually like each other, and we're both as shallow as each other. So, I'd love to hear his side of the story as well. And poor Arthur. I mean, he seems like he's got. He's not without his ego either, but just in a different way. He likes his muscles. He's a tennis coach and stuff, isn't he? But. And he did say that, he likes going around Chelsea and stuff with his mates, but I just don't think, I don't see any future for this couple. It's all just, these are there for the drama, these ones, Chris.
100%. And when we get like you say, we meet Arthur's family, Polish and immigrants and that, and they come into the country and he's chatting away. And then you've got like her getting ready. And then when they get to the church, right, she's brilliant. So he stood there. Her friends are horrid, by the way, Dave. It's a genuine reflection. They reminded me a little bit of fucking Micah's friends off bloody Love Is Blind that we've just covered and stuff.
Season 4. Yeah,
it's horrible people. Just if you've got that toxic energy, they just seem like really, I don't know, just bitchy, nasty.
They flock together, don't they?
Yeah, just like all the shit houses together, Dave. Not my sort of people at all. But he's there. He's a good-looking lad, like you say. She comes in. She's pretty, Dave, but I think she's got a high opinion of herself. I don't think she's absolutely stunning. I think she's pretty. He's good-looking. Aesthetically, like a good match. However, fuck me, she has not got a poker face. An absolute pan of piss face there, wasn't it? She was trying everything. What I don't like is them sly looks over her shoulder at her mates. She's saying, oh, fuck me. But then also, I didn't think he was very good because he was doing the same thing. He was looking at his mates. He may have been a nursing for both of them. when he did his speech, when he said, I love you, and then it comes out, he found it on the internet. Did it say, please turn over? I was waiting for him to say, like, I love you, please turn over. You know, like, he's reading an auto cue. I was all Team Arthur up to that point, and I was fucking crying, laughing, going, you absolute fucking dick, honestly. What a brilliant delivery, David. The fact that he admitted he found it on the internet, I was pissing myself.
Well, I think there's a whole bunch of stuff in there. So I must admit, these week ones I'm not a fan of. However, maths, especially in the last Australian one, even episode 1, it brung it, didn't it, with Bronte and Harrison, it was straight in there with the drama. But by this point, I was kind of getting not bored, but just, it's just a fairly calm watch. And then he declared his love for her. I'm like, fucking hell, you've shot your bolt a bit early there, haven't you? Fucking hell, what would you do there? But now, to be
it still baffles me.
No, to be fair, Chris, I'm sure, it's a long old time since you'd have delivered your groom speech, isn't it? But I'm sure you've delivered a best man speech or two. Did you peruse the internet to try and get inspiration for that speech?
Well,
because I fucking did.
Yeah, and I will say, Dave, her speech, Laura's speech, that bit about the 3 things, I've heard that before. So she's slagging him off for going on the internet, going, how dare him? But that thing about these 3 things you want out of a partner, or whatever it is. And the last was like, if you want, want to mold them or whatever you do. And she said, obviously, we've sidestepped the first 2. But that initial 3 stages of a partner that you would look for the ideal partner, I've heard that before. And I was thinking that when she's getting all high and mighty. However, she did put her own spin on it, not like fucking still brilliant Arthur.
But that's the thing. She was having a go at him for getting it off the internet. We're still talking about the speech, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm like, surely every fucker at least consults with the internet, the oracle of the internet, and just says, give me some ideas for a groom speech or whatever. And then the bit that he's missed is you're obviously supposed to tailor it, not just download the first one that you see and do it word for word. But to be honest, do you not feel like because of that, it's so ridiculous? And it's like, oh, English isn't my first language. I don't know, mate. You speak it pretty well. Not like so bad. It wouldn't be like someone handing us a transcript in French and you just deliver the words having no idea what they mean. It seems set up to me, that one, Chris.
Yeah, and I tell you why as well, Dave, that I did feel, this is one of the things I threw in like my little notes, is it reminds you a little bit of Bronte and Harrison. I know the context of what happened with Bronte and Harrison at the wedding when that girl pulled her and she, the cameras were on her, but her friends, he went over talking to her friends and then admits he's found it on the internet. It's like, why would you do that? And then we set up the cameras perfectly for 2 of her friends. One of them didn't know or acted like she didn't know. And then she's outraged. Now, for Laura, it's a get out of jail free card, isn't it? She's like, oh, well, this guy, I don't like this guy anyway. They put me with the wrong person. That's it. I'm done. But I can already see, like you said, this is going to be the couple where she may fall in about a couple of weeks, but they'll never be correct. I cannot see these 2 lasting. And I do think you're right. I think there was a little bit of producer work at play there, definitely.
Yeah, I think so as well. And, he's missed a trick here, Chris, because obviously in 2023, the world's discovered AI and ChatGPT. So I hadn't planned this, but I just thought, I wonder, can ChatGPT write me a quick quick groom speech? So I've just literally typed in, write me a 1-paragraph groom speech. So here we go. You ready for this?
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you with a heart brimming with love and gratitude. I am beyond blessed to have bride's name by my side, and I am profoundly thankful for your presence here, witnessing the union of 2 souls. To my beautiful bride, You are the greatest gift life has bestowed upon me, and I promise to cherish, support, and love you endlessly. I want to thank our families and our friends for their unwavering support and love. Let us raise our glasses to the adventure that lies ahead, to a lifetime of shared dreams and cherished moments, and to the love that binds us together. Cheers. Fucking chat GPT, Chris. He should have fucking just done that. And he wouldn't have
I was getting
declared his
emotional
love.
then, Dave, and I'm not even getting married. That's a wonderful speech.
Fucking awesome tool.
Oh, no, it is. Oh, it's no, I've never used that, Dave. I use my own authenticity, if you don't mind, with certain things. But no, it is. It's a great tool. But yeah, he is a fucking tool of Arthur, isn't he? You know, like completely got it. And they were the highlight of the show for me because obviously we had Jay and Luke, didn't we? And Jay, obviously, she's got a disability. She can tell she's so down on herself, which she quite rightly would be. She's been treated differently by people. It's ruined relationships. She never feels she's going to find love. And I just felt that, like, total comparison. I was rooting for Jay and Luke. I was like, what? You know, and they always do that, don't they? The first episode, you're like, oh, we've got a pair of bellends, and then we got a really nice couple. And they seem to be that, you know, that Jay's story was heartwarming. Her sister's there's back up. And yeah, I like the dynamic of them. They were like, genuinely felt a little bit like my mum, your dad, where you sort of rooting for a couple. But at the moment, and this is the first episode, it could all change, but they seem like really, really nice people compared to the other two.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm not going to make any predictions because do you remember in the last season, and you had Gemma and what was his name? That fucking tattooed one who's a nightmare in the end.
Fucking Bella, Matt.
That was it, Matt. Yeah, from that first day, you're like, oh, these two seem great together.
Yeah.
So I kind of had that same sort of feeling with Jay and Luke, but you know, I mean, she'd had a kind of background that, like you say, she'd had different things happen to her, you know, growing up and you know, sounded pretty horrible. But I mean, Luke sounded like he'd been in a kind of bad relationship as well, hadn't he? And, you know, he was quite rocked by that, it sounded like. But then, you know, when they met each other, it seemed like, I don't want to say love at first sight, Chris, but I mean, they did seem to genuinely have that attraction. But then Jay was kind of, you can tell she's used to like almost playing it down.
Yeah.
You know, she's just waiting to be rejected or waiting to be hurt. And so it was only like the intervention of a mate, really, who's like giving him a bit of a grilling. And, you know, she was able to get out of him, you know, that he really fancies her and stuff. And so, you know, she relays the message and suddenly Jay's like, all right, maybe this can work then. So I just found it weird because I was trying to think, well, you're meeting this person for the first time. Well, what do you want him to act like? Do you want him to act like fucking Sid James? Would that be better?
Yeah.
You know, just give her the old, you know, he's sort of being, I don't know, just natural to me. But I guess it's part of her insecurity that was kind of shining through there and just thinking that, you know, he's above her is the way it came across.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The vulnerability of like, you know, this isn't true. This isn't true at all. You know, he can't like me. And then she needed that validation, didn't she? And that's what I mean. It's weird, isn't it, Maths? Because you don't know what the contestants are going to be like. It's literally the first episode. We get to see some of the other brides and grooms that are going to come in the episodes, but you don't know. They all talk a good game, but yeah, I hope his intentions are correct, Dave, because we've had this before. In the last series you had it, I was saying about the bloody it's terrible list, the Aussie one, the girl who had the cystic fibrosis, and then the guy was all over, and they looked like a great couple, didn't they? And then he ended up just wanting to go and fucking shag trees in the middle of the outback and stuff. And then obviously that blonde girl as well, he had a little bit with Cam on it. Was it Cam?
Cam, that was it. Yeah.
Oh, what a bell end he was. So Lind, is it Lindell? Like, I think something like that. It's coming back to me,
I think
Dave.
so.
Something like that. It's coming back to me. But yeah, they look like a great couple on the first episode. And after that, you were like, oh my God, he's not right for it at all. So let's hold judgment, because I did feel he was a bit too quick to jump in there, like with some of the things he was saying. He seemed to just be people pleasing. So let's see if this is true. And look, it's what we need. We need drama. But I don't think, Jay, for me, I don't think she could handle the rejection if he did that to her, for being honest.
I don't know, I get the feeling she's probably developed a bit of a thick skin over the years. So, I'm sure she'd be absolutely fine. But I agree. It's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
They go through the audition process. They get selected. They're on the best behavior. They're doing the whole setup, the background piece before the wedding day and stuff. And it's easy to chameleon yourself there, isn't it? And put your best foot forward. And it's when when they start to get ground down by the whole process. That's when we see the real person come out. I mean, again, you say that, but with fucking Laura, I mean, I guess she feels like that is her putting her best foot forward. Whereas I'm pretty sure most of the viewers were like you and I, like, you're a fucking bellend.
Yeah, 100%. No, you're right. And look, first episode, we wanted to jump on, didn't we? Just throw it out there, what we've seen. We're going to see where it lands. I have said, I'm going to repeat it, guys, I am going away pretty quick. So the second week's probably going to be a wipeout. But we will be watching and catching up, because it's maths, Dave. And I'm pretty certain while I'm away, you're going to be messaging me going, you're not going to believe this. And I'm going to go, Dave, stop it right now. But no, anything else to say, mate, before we go?
No, I think that's it. Like, say, a bit of a... I'd say it's an okay. It's middling, isn't it? As an episode 1. It's hard to gauge how is the season going to go from here. There's a pretty high bar from the last Australian season, so and even the last UK season was quite high on drama, wasn't it? So it'll be interesting where this one goes. Can't wait.
No, good stuff. And thanks everyone for listening and asking if we're going to cover it. Of course we're going to cover Maths UK. So if you want to email us, cdrealitycast@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media @cdrealitycast. As always, get over to patreon.com/cdrealitycast. So today's roll call of honour is Danielle, Caroline, Kim, Amanda, Larissa, Helen, Macy, Nicola, Emma, Fiona, Cassie, Megan, Kate, Nick, Maggie, Kristen, Zoe, Gillian, Keith, Helen, Chloe, Noreen, Joanna, Libby, Casey, Dee Dee, Susan, Lauren, Lucky Luda Green, and Ken Gustavs. So thank you so much, guys, for all your support as always. We really appreciate it. And we are up and running straight into another series, Dave, but this is without doubt one of the best. But I am side watching My Mum, Your Dad, so I'm up to date with that as well. I have been enjoying that as well.
Yeah, did you see yesterday's?
Yep.
Yeah. Still, I was right in the predictions, but let's see. We're going to release another Patreon episode at the end of the week and give our thoughts on that as well.
No, it's excellent stuff, and thank you, mate. Really good stuff. So anyway, let's go, Dave, because Maths is on very soon.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Thanks to all our listeners out there. Thanks to all our supporters, and we'll speak to you next time.
Bye.